Hello everyone. Question is a developer needs to create an audit trail for records that are sent to the recycle bin. Which type of trigger is most appropriate to create? Option A after delete. Option B after undelete. Option C before undelete. Option D before delete. Correct answer is option A. Question is in which three areas can a lightning component be used in the lightning experience? Choose three options. Option A Lightning Report page. Option B Lightning Connect page. Option C Lightning Record page. Option D Lightning Community page. Option E Lightning Home page. Correct answer is option C, D and option E. Question is what is the impact of declaring an Apex class using the without sharing keywords? Option A only records owned by the current user can be updated. Option B sharing restrictions for the current user are bypassed. Option C records created by the class cannot have sharing rules. Option D the class can only be used by users with developer rights. Correct answer is option B. Question is what are two valid options for iterating through each account in the collection list account named account list? Choose two options. Now see the options as option A, B, C and option D. Correct answer is option A and option D. Question is given map ID, account within bracket account map is equals to new map ID account, select ID name from account. What are three valid Apex loop structures for iterating through items in the collection? Choose three options. Please see the options as option A, B, C, D and option E. Correct answer is option A, B and option C. You can download the complete list of recently updated contents from the link provided in the description. If you like this content, please like and subscribe. Question is Universal Containers wants opportunities to be locked from editing when reaching the closed won stage. Which two strategies should a developer use to accomplish this? Choose two options. Option A use a visual workflow. Option B use a validation rule. Option C use the process automation settings. Option D use a trigger. Correct answer is option B and option D. Question is how should a developer make sure that a child record on a custom object with a lookup to the account object has the same sharing access at its associated account? Option A create a sharing rule comparing the custom object owner to the account owner. Option B create a validation rule on the custom object comparing the record owners on both records. Option C include the sharing related list on the custom object page layout. Option D ensure that the relationship between the object is master detail. Correct answer is option D. Question is an org has a single account named no contacts that has no related contacts. Given the query, what is the result of running this Apex? Please see the options as option A, B, C and option D. Correct answer is option B. Question is a platform developer at Universal Containers needs to create a custom button for the account object that when clicked, will perform a series of calculations and redirect the user to a custom Visualforce page. Which three attributes need to be defined when values in the Apex page tag to accomplish this? Choose three options. Option A, action. Option B, render as. Option C, standard controller. Option D, read only. Option E, extensions. Correct answer is option A, B, and option C. You can download the complete list of recently updated contents from the link provided in the description. If you like this content, please like and subscribe. Hello everyone. Question is, using the schema builder, a developer tries to change the API name of a field that is referenced in an Apex test class. What is the end result? Option A, the API name is not changed and there are no other impacts. Option B, the API name of the field and the reference in the test class is changed. Option C, the API name of the field is changed and a warning is issued to update the class. Option D, the API name of the field and reference in the test class is updated. Correct answer is option C. Question is, when is an Apex trigger required instead of a process builder process? Option A, when a record needs to be created. Option B, when multiple records related to the triggering record need to be updated. Option C, when a post to chatter needs to be created. Option D, when an action needs to be taken on a delete or undelete or before a DML operation is executed. Correct answer is option D. Question is, a developer needs to join data received from an integration with an external system with parent records in Salesforce. The dataset does not contain the Salesforce IDs of the parent records, but it does have a foreign key attribute that can be used to identify the parent. Which action will allow the developer to relate records in the data model without knowing the Salesforce ID? Option A, create the populate a custom field on the parent object marked as unique. Option B, create a custom field on the child object of type external relationship. Option C, create and populate a custom field on the parent object marked as an external ID. Option D, create a custom field on the child object of type foreign key. Correct answer is option D. You can download the complete list of recently updated contents from the link provided in the description. If you like this content, please like and subscribe. Question is, a developer created a Lightning component to display a short-term summary for an object and wants to use it with multiple Apex classes. How should the developer design the Apex classes? Option A, have each class define method get object function that returns the S-object that is controlled by the Apex class. Option B, extend each class from the same base class that has a method getTextSummary function that returns the summary. Option C, have each class implement an interface that defines method getTextSummary function that returns the summary. Option D, have each class defined method getTextSummary function that returns the summary. Correct answer is option C. Question is, which approach should a developer use to add pagination to a Visualforce page? Option A, a standard controller. Option B, the action attribute for a page. Option C, the extensions attribute for a page. Option D, a standard set controller. Correct answer is option D. Question is a developer is asked to create a PDF code document formatted using the company's branding guidelines and automatically save it to the opportunity record. Which two ways should a developer create this functionality? Option A, install an application from the App Exchange to generate documents. Option B, create a Visual Force page with custom styling. Option C, create an email template and use it in Process Builder. Option D, create a visual flow that implements the company's formatting. Correct answer is option A and option B. Question is, which tool allows a developer to send requests to the Salesforce REST APIs and view the responses? Option A, REST Resource Path URL. Option B, Workbench REST Explorer. Option C, Developer Console REST tab. Option D, Force.com IDE REST Explorer tab. Correct answer is option B. You can download the complete list of recently updated contents from the link provided in the description. If you like this content, please like and subscribe. Hello everyone. Question is, candidates are reviewed by 4 separate reviewers and their comments and scores, which range from 1 lowest to 5 highest, are stored on a review record, that is a detailed record for a candidate. What is the best way to indicate that a combined review score of 15 or better is required to recommend that the candidate come in for an interview? Option A, use a validation rule on a total score field on the candidate record that prevents a recommended field from being true if the total score is less than 15. Option B, use a roll-up summary field to calculate the sum of the review scores and score this in a total score field on the candidate. Option C, use visual workflow to set a recommended field on the candidate whenever the cumulative review score is 15 or better. Option D, use a workflow rule to calculate the sum of the review scores and send an email to the hiring manager when the total is 15 or better. Correct answer is option D. Question is, when a task is created for a contact, how can a developer prevent the task from being included on the activity timeline of the contact's account record? Option A, in activity setting, uncheck roll-up activities to a contact's primary account. Option B, create a task trigger to set the account field to null. Option C, use Process Builder to create a process to set the task account field to blank. Option D, by default, tasks do not display on the account activity timeline. Correct answer is option A. Question is, which standard field is required when creating a new contact record? Option A, last name. Option B, name. Option C, account ID. Option D, first name. Correct answer is option A. Question is, what can be used to delete components from production? Option A, change set deployment with a destructive changes XML file. Option B, a change set deployment with the delete option checked. Option C, an ant migration tool deployment with a destructive changes XML file and an empty package.xml file. Option D, an ant migration tool deployment with a destructive changes XML file and the components to delete in the package.xml file. Correct answer is option D. You can download the complete list of recently updated contents from the link provided in the description. If you like this content, please like and subscribe. Question is, what is the order of operations when a record is saved in Salesforce? Option A, workflow, process flows, triggers, commit. Option B, process flows, triggers, workflow, commit. Option C, triggers, workflow, process flows, commit. Option D, workflow, triggers, process flows, commit. Correct answer is option C. Question is, a developer observes that an Apex test method fails in the sandbox. To identify the issue, the developer copies the code inside the test method and executes it via the execute anonymous tool in the developer console. The code then executes with no exceptions or errors. Why did the test method fail in the sandbox and pass in the developer console? Option A, the test method has a syntax error in the code. Option B, the test method does not use syntax.run as to execute as a specific user. Option C, the test method is calling an addFuture method. Option D, the test method relies on existing data in the sandbox. Correct answer is option D. Question is, a developer must create an Apex class contact controller that a Lightning component can use to search for contact records. User of the Lightning component should only be able to search for contact records to which they have access. Which two will restrict the records correctly? Option A, public class contact controller. Option B, public with sharing class contact controller. Option C, public without sharing class contact controller. Option D, public inherited sharing class contact controller. Correct answer is option B and option D. You can download the complete list of recently updated contents from the link provided in the description. If you like this content, please like and subscribe. Hello everyone. Question is, when a user edits the postal code on an account, a custom account text field named time zone must be updated based on the values in a postal code to time zone underscore C custom object. How should a developer implement this feature? Option A, build an account workflow rule. Option B, build an account assignment rule. Option C, build an account custom trigger. Option D, build an account approval process. Correct answer is option C. Question is, given the following Apex statement, account my account is equals to within bracket select ID comma name from account. What occurs when more than one account is returned by the SOQL query? Option A, the variable my account is automatically cast to the list data type. Option B, the first account returned is assigned to my account. Option C, the query fails to an error is written to the debug log. Option D, an unhandled exception is thrown and the code terminates. Correct answer is option D. Question is, a developer writes a trigger on the account object on the before update event that increments account field. A workflow rule also increments the account field every time that an account is created or updated. The field update in the workflow rule is configured to not re-evaluate workflow rules. What is the value of the count field if an account is inserted with an initial value of 0, assuming no other automation logic is implemented on the account? Option A 1, Option B 3, Option C 4, Option D 2. Correct answer is option B. You can download the complete list of recently updated contents from the link provided in the description. If you like this content, please like and subscribe. Question is universal containers implemented a private sharing model for the account object. A custom account search tool was developed with Apex to help sales representatives find accounts that match multiple criteria they specify. Since its release, users of the tool report they can see accounts they do not own. What should the developer use to enforce sharing permissions for the currently logged in user while using the custom search tool? Option A. Use the schema describe calls to determine if the logged in user has access to the account object. Option B. Use the user info Apex class to filter all SOQL queries to return records owned by the logged in user. Option C. Use the with sharing keyword on the class declaration. Option D. Use the without sharing keyword on the class declaration. Correct answer is option A. Question is an Apex code executes inside the execute function method of an Apex class when implementing the batchable interface. Which two statements are true regarding governor limits? Option A. The Apex governor limits are reset for each iteration of the execute method. Option B. The Apex governor limits cannot be exceeded due to the asynchronous nature of the transaction. Option C. The Apex governor limits might be higher due to the asynchronous nature of the transaction. Option D. The Apex governor limits are released which calling the constructor of the Apex class. Correct answer is option A and option C. Question is a developer must modify the following code snippet to prevent the number of SOQL query issued from exceeding the platform governor limit. The above method might be called during a trigger execution via a Lightning component. Which technique should be implemented to avoid reaching the governor limit? Option A. Refactor the code above to perform the SOQL query only if the set of opportunity ID contains less 100 IDs. Option B. Use the system.limits.getLimitQueries method to ensure the number of queries is less than 100. Option C. Refactor the code above to perform only one SOQL query filtering by the set of opportunity IDs. Option D. Use the system.lights.getQueries method to ensure the number of queries is less than 100. Correct answer is option D. You can download the complete list of recently updated contents from the link provided in the description. If you like this content, please like and subscribe. Hello everyone. Question is Universal Containers has a large number of custom applications that were built using a third-party JavaScript framework and exposed using Visualforce pages. The company wants to update these applications to apply styling that resembles the look and feel of Lightning experience. What should the developer do to fulfill the business request in the quickest and most effective manner? Option A. Set the attribute enable Lightning to true in the definition. Option B. Enable available for Lightning experience, Lightning communities, and the mobile app on Visualforce pages used by the custom application. Option C. Incorporate the Salesforce Lightning Design System CSS style sheet into the JavaScript applications. Option D. Rewrite all Visualforce pages as Lightning components. Correct answer is option A. Question is Universal Containers stores orders and line items in Salesforce. For security reasons, financial representatives are allowed to see information on the order such as order amount, but they are not allowed to see the line items on the order. Which type of relationship should be used? Option A, direct lookup. Option B, indirect lookup. Option C, master detail. Option D, lookup. Correct answer is option C. Question is, the sales management team at Universal Containers requires that the lead source field of the lead record be populated when a lead is converted. What should be used to ensure that a user populates the lead source field prior to converting a lead? Option A, workflow rule. Option B, validation rule. Option C, formula field. Option D, process builder. Correct answer is option B. You can download the complete list of recently updated contents from the link provided in the description. If you like this content, please like and subscribe. Question is, a developer has the following requirements. First, calculate the total amount on an order. Second, calculate the line amount for each line item based on quantity selected and price. Third, move line items to a different order if a line item is not in stock. Which relationship implementation supports these requirements? Option A, order has a lookup field to line item and there can be many line items per order. Option B, line items has a lookup field to order and there can be many line items per order. Option C, order has a master detail field to line item and there can be many line items per order. Option D, line items has a master detail field to order and the master can be reparented. Correct answer is option D. Question is, Universal Containers uses a simple order management app. On the order lines, the order line total is calculated by multiplying the item price with the quantity ordered. There is a master detail relationship between the order and the order line objects. What is the best practice to get the sum of all order line totals on the order header? Option A, declarative roll-up summaries app. Option B, roll-up summary field. Option C, process builder. Option D, apex trigger. Correct answer is option A. Question is, an org tracks customer orders on an order object and the line items of an order on the line item object. The line item object has a master detail relationship to the order object. A developer has a requirement to calculate the order amount on an order and the line amount on each line item based on quantity and price. What is the correct implementation? Option A, write a single before trigger on the line item that calculates the item amount and updates the order amount on the order. Option B, write a process on the line item that calculates the item amount and order amount and updates the fields on the line item and the order. Option C, implement the line amount as a numeric formula field and the order amount as a roll-up summary field. Option D, implement the line amount as a currency field and the order amount as a sum formula field. Correct answer is option D. You can download the complete list of recently updated contents from the link provided in the description. If you like this content, please like and subscribe. Hello everyone. Question is, a developer creates a new Apex trigger with a helper class and writes a test class that only exercises 95% coverage of the new Apex helper class. Change set deployment to production fails with the test coverage warning. test coverage of selected apex trigger is 0%, at least 1% test coverage is required. What should the developer do to successfully deploy the new apex trigger and helper class? Option A. Increase the test class coverage on the helper class. Option B. Remove the failing test methods from the test class. Option C. Run the test using the run all tests method. Option D. Create a test class and methods to cover the apex trigger. Correct answer is option D. Question is Universal Containers recently transitioned from Classic to Lightning Experience. One of its business processes requires certain values from the opportunity object to be sent via an HTTP REST callout to its external order management system based on a user-initiated action on the opportunity detail page. Example values are as follows. First, name. Second, amount. Third, account. Which two methods should the developer implement to fulfill the business requirement? Choose two options. Option A. Create a Visual Force page that performs the HTTP REST callout and use a Visual Force quick action to expose the component on the opportunity detail page. Option B. Create a process builder on the opportunity object that executes an Apex immediate action to perform the HTTP REST callout whenever the opportunity is updated. Option D. Create a Lightning component that performs the HTTP REST callout and use a Lightning action to expose the component on the opportunity detail page. Option D. Create an after update trigger on the opportunity object that calls a helper method using @future within bracket callout is equals to true to perform the HTTP REST callout. Correct answer is option A and option C. You can download the complete list of recently updated contents from the link provided in the description. If you like this content, please like and subscribe. Question is, what does the Lightning Component Framework provide to developers? Option A. Support for Classic and Lightning UIs. Option B. Templates to create custom components. Option C. Extended governor limits for applications. Option D. Pre-built components that can be reused. Correct answer is option D. Question is, a developer writes a single trigger on the account object on the after insert and after update events. A workflow rule modifies a field every time an account is created or updated. How many times will the trigger fire if a new account is inserted, assuming no other automation logic is implemented on the account? Option A 8, Option B 1, Option C 4, Option D 2. Correct answer is option D. Question is, a recursive transaction is initiated by a DML statement creating records for these two objects. First, accounts. Second, contacts. The account trigger hits a stack depth of 16. Which statement is true regarding the outcome of the transaction? Option A. The transaction fails and all the changes are rolled back. Option B. The transaction succeeds as long as the contact trigger stack depth is less than 16. Option C. The transaction fails only if the contact trigger stack depth is greater or equal to 16. Option D. The transaction succeeds and all changes are committed to the database. Correct answer is option D. Question is, Universal Containers wants to back up all of the data and attachments in its Salesforce org once a month. Which approach should a developer use to meet this requirement? Option A. Define a data export scheduled job. Option B. Use the data loader command line. Option C. Schedule a report. Option D. Create a schedulable Apex class. Correct answer is option A. You can download the complete list of recently updated contents from the link provided in the description. If you like this content, please like and subscribe. Hello everyone. Question is Universal Containers has an order system that uses an order number to identify an order for customers and service agents. Order records will be imported into Salesforce. How should the order number field be defined in Salesforce? Option A. Direct lookup. Option B. Lookup. Option C. Number with external ID. Option D. Indirect lookup. Correct answer is option C. Question is which two statements are true about getter and setter methods? Option A. Setter methods always have to be declared global. Option B. Setter methods are required to pass a value from a page to a controller. Option C. There is no guarantee for the order in which getter or setter methods are executed. Option D. Getter methods can pass a value from a controller to a page. Correct answer is option B and option C. Question is a developer needs to confirm that a contact trigger works correctly without changing the organization's data. What should the developer do to test the contact trigger? Option A. Use deploy from a VS Code IDE to deploy an insert contact Apex class. Option B. Use the new button on the Salesforce Contacts tab to create a new contact record. Option C. Use the Open Execute Anonymous feature on the developer console to run an insert contact DML statement. Option D. Use the test menu on the developer console to run all test classes for the contact trigger. Correct answer is option D. Question is which two statements are valid regarding Apex classes and interfaces? Option A. Classes are final by default. Option B. Interface methods are public by default. Option C. Inner classes are private by default. Option D. A class can only have one inner class label. Correct answer is option B and option D. You can download the complete list of recently updated contents from the link provided in the description. If you like this content, please like and subscribe. Question is, what are three considerations when using the @invocable method annotation in Apex? Option A. A method using the @invocable method annotation must be declared as static. Option B. A method using the @invocable method annotation can be declared as public or global. Option C. A method using the @invocable method annotation can have multiple input parameters. Option D. A method using the @invocable method annotation must define a return value. Option E. Only one method using the @invocable method annotation can be defined per Apex class. Correct answer is option A, B, and option E. Question is what are the three characteristics of change set deployments? Option A. They require a deployment connection. Option B. They can be used to transfer records. Option C. They can be used only between related organizations. Option D. They can be used to deploy custom settings data. Option E. They can use an all or none deployment model. Correct answer is option A, C, and option E. Question is Universal Containers wants opportunities to be logged from editing when reaching the closed or won stage. Which two strategies should a developer use to accomplish this? Option A, use a flow builder. Option B, use a validation rule. Option C, use the process and automation settings. Option D, mark fields as read only on the page layout. Correct answer is option B and option D. Question is what are two benefits of the Lightning Component framework? Option 8 simplifies complexity when building pages but not applications. Option B, it provides an event-driven architecture for better decoupling between components. Option C, it promotes faster development using out-of-box components that are suitable for desktop and mobile devices. Option D, it allows faster PDF generation with Lightning components. Correct answer is option B and option C. You can download the complete list of recently updated contents from the link provided in the description. If you like this content, please like and subscribe. Hello everyone. Question is when viewing a quote, the sales representatives wants to easily see how many discounted items are included in the quote line items. What should a developer do to meet this requirement? Option A, create a trigger on the quote object that queries the quantity field on the discounted quote line items. Option B, create a workflow rule on the quote line item object that updates a field on the parent quote when the item is discounted. Option C, create a roll-up summary field on the quote object that performs a sum on the quote line item quantity field filtered for only discounted quote line items. Option D, create a formula field on the quote object that performs a sum on the quote line item quantity field filtered for only discounted quote line items. Correct answer is option C. Question is where can a developer identify the time taken by each process in a transaction using Developer Console Log Inspector? Option A, performs tree tab under stack tree panel. Option B, execution tree tab under stack tree panel. Option C, timeline tab under execution overview panel. Option D, save order tab under execution overview panel. Correct answer is option C. Question is a developer needs to test an invoicing system integration. After reviewing the number of transactions required for the test, the developer estimates that the test data will total about 2 GB of data storage. Production data is not required for the integration testing. Which two environments meet the requirements for testing? Option A, developer sandbox. Option B, full sandbox. Option C, developer edition. Option D, partial sandbox. Option E, developer pro sandbox. Correct answer is option B and option D. You can download the complete list of recently updated contents from the link provided in the description. If you like this content, please like and subscribe. Question is a developer encounters apex heap limit errors in a trigger. Which two methods should the developer use to avoid this error? Option A, use the transient keyword when declaring variables. Option B, query and store fields from the related object in a collection when updating related objects. Option C, remove or set collections to null after use. Option D, use SOQL for loops instead of assigning large queries results to a single collection and looping through the collection. Correct answer is option A and option D. Question is, which approach should a developer take to automatically add a maintenance plan to each opportunity that includes an annual subscription when an opportunity is closed? Option A, build a opportunity line item trigger that adds a price book entry record. Option B, build an opportunity line item trigger to add an opportunity line item record. Option C, build an opportunity trigger that adds a price book entry record. Option D, build an opportunity trigger that adds an opportunity line item record. Correct answer is option D. Question is, what is the requirement for a class to be used as a custom Visual Force controller? Option A, any top-level Apex class that has a constructor that returns a page reference. Option B, any top-level Apex class that extends a page reference. Option C, any top-level Apex class that has a default no-argument constructor. Option D, any top-level Apex class that implements the controller interface. Correct answer is option D. Question is, a newly hired developer discovers that there are multiple triggers on the case object. What should the developer consider when working with triggers? Option A, developers must dictate the order of trigger execution. Option B, trigger execution order is based on creation date and time. Option C, unit test must specify the trigger being tested. Option D, trigger execution order is not guaranteed for the same S object. Correct answer is option D. You can download the complete list of recently updated contents from the link provided in the description. If you like this content, please like and subscribe. Hello everyone. Question is, in a single record, a user selects multiple values from a multi-select pick list. How are the selected values represented in Apex? Option A, a list as a list within bracket string with each value as an element in the list. Option B, as a string with each value separated by a comma. Option C, as a string with each value separated by a semicolon. Option D, as a set within bracket string with each value as an element in the set. Correct answer is option C. Question is, what is the benefit of using an after insert trigger over using a before insert trigger? Option A, an after insert trigger allows a developer to bypass validation rules when updating fields on the new record. Option B, an after insert trigger allows a developer to insert other objects that reference the new record. Option C, an after insert trigger allows a developer to make a callout to an external service. Option D, an after insert trigger allows a developer to modify fields in the new record without a query. Correct answer is option B. Question is, a developer is asked to set a pick list field to monitor on any new leads owned by a subnet of users. How should the developer implement this request? Option A, create an after insert lead trigger. Option B, create a before insert lead trigger. Option C, create a lead workflow rule field update. Option D, create a lead formula field. Correct answer is option C. Question is, a developer wants to override a button using Visual Force on an object. What is the requirement? Option A, the controller or extension must have a page reference method. Option B, the standard controller attribute must be set to the object. Option C, the action attribute must be set to a controller method. Option D. The object record must be instantiated in a controller or extension. Correct answer is option B. You can download the complete list of recently updated contents from the link provided in the description. If you like this content, please like and subscribe. Question is, how can a developer set up a debug log on a specific user? Option A. It is not possible to set up debug logs for users other than yourself. Option B. Ask the user for access to their account credentials, log in as the user and debug the issue. Option C. Create Apex code that logs code actions into a custom object. Option D. Set up a trace flag for the user and define a logging label and time period for the trace. Correct answer is option D. Question is, when an account's custom picklist field called customer sentiment is changed to a value of confused, a new related case should automatically be created. Which two methods should a developer use to create this case? Option A. Process builder. Option B. Apex trigger. Option C. Custom button. Option D. Workflow rule. Correct answer is option A and option B. Question is, what are two uses for external IDs? Option A. To create relationships between records imported from an external system. Option B. To create a record in a development environment with the same Salesforce ID as in another environment. Option C. To identify the S object type in Salesforce. Option D. To prevent an import from creating duplicate records using Upsert. Correct answer is option A and option D. Question is, for which three items can a trace flag be configured? Option A. Apex trigger. Option B. Apex class. Option C. Process builder. Option D. User. Option E. Visual force. Correct answer is option A, B and option D. You can download the complete list of recently updated contents from the link provided in the description. If you like this content, please like and subscribe. Hello everyone. Question is, a company wants to create an employee rating program that allows employees to rate each other. The employee's average rating must be displayed on the employee record. Employees must be able to create rating records but are not allowed to create employee records. Which two actions should a developer take to accomplish this task? Option A. Create a trigger on the rating object that updates a fields on the employee object. Option B. Create a lookup relationship between the rating and employee object. Option C. Create a roll-up summary field on the employee and use AVG to calculate the average rating score. Option D. Create a master detail relationship between the rating and employee objects. Correct answer is option C and option D. Question is, for which example task should a developer use a trigger rather than a workflow rule? Option A. To set the name field of an expense reports record to expense and the date when it is saved. Option B. To send an email to a hiring manager when a candidate accepts a job offer. Option C. To notify an external system that a record has been modified. Option D. To set the primary contact on an account record when it is saved. Correct answer is option D. Question is, a developer has JavaScript code that needs to be called by controller functions in multiple Aura components by extending a new abstract component. Which resource in the abstract or a component bundle allows the developer to achieve this? Option A, helper.js. Option B, controller.js. Option C, superrender.js. Option D, renderer.js. Correct answer is option A. You can download the complete list of recently updated contents from the link provided in the description. If you like this content, please like and subscribe. Question is, which two components are available to deploy using the metadata API? Option A, lead conversion settings. Option B, wave to case. Option C, wave to lead. Option D, case settings. Correct answer is option A and option D. Question is, which two statements are true about Apex code execute in anonymous blocks? Option A, the code runs with the permission of the user specified in the run as function statement. Option B, the code runs with the permission of the logged in user. Option C, the code runs in system mode having access to all objects and fields. Option D, all DML operations are automatically rolled back. Option E, successful DML operations are automatically committed. Correct answer is option B and option E. Question is, which two practices should be used for processing records in a trigger? Option A, use a map to reduce the number of SOQL calls. Option B, use add future methods to handle DML operations. Option C, use a set to ensure unique values in a query filter. Option D, use within bracket callout is equals to true to update an external system. Correct answer is option A and option C. Question is, a developer needs to provide a way to mass edit, update, and delete records from a list view. In which two ways can this be accomplished? Option A, create a new Visual Force page and Apex controller for the list view that provides mass edit, update, and delete functionality. Option B, download a managed package from the App Exchange that provides customizable enhanced list view and buttons. Option C, download an unmanaged package from the App Exchange that provides customizable mass edit, update, and delete functionality. Option D, configure the user interface and enable both inline editing and enhanced lists. Correct answer is option A and option B. You can download the complete list of recently updated contents from the link provided in the description. If you like this content, please like and subscribe. Hello everyone. Question is, requirements state that a child record is deleted when its parent is deleted, and a child can be moved to a different parent when necessary. Which type of relationship should be built between the parent and child objects in Schema Builder to support these requirements? Option A, master detail relationship. Option B, child relationship. Option C, lookup relationship from the parent to the child. Option D, lookup relationship from the child to the parent. Correct answer is option A. Question is, managed packages can be created in which type of org? Option A, developer sandbox. Option B, partial copy sandbox. Option C, unlimited edition. Option D, developer edition. Correct answer is option D. Question is, a developer can use the debug log to see which three types of information. Option A, HTTP callouts to external systems. Option B, database changes. Option C, resource uses and limits. Option D, user login events. Option E. Actions triggered by time-based workflow. Correct answer is option A, B, and option E. Question is the review underscore C object has a lookup relationship up to the job underscore application underscore C object. The job underscore application underscore C object has a master detail relationship up to the position underscore C object. The relationship field names are based on the auto-populated defaults. What is the recommended way to display field data from the related position underscore C record on a Visual Force page for a single review underscore C record? Option A. Use the standard controller for review underscore C and cross-object formula fields on the position underscore C object to display position underscore C data. Option B. Use the standard controller for job underscore application underscore C and a controller extension to query for position underscore C data. Option C. Use the standard controller for job underscore application underscore C and cross-object formula fields on the review underscore C object to display position underscore C data. Option D. Use the standard controller for review underscore C and expression syntax in the page to display related position underscore C data through the job underscore application underscore C object. Correct answer is option C. You can download the complete list of recently updated contents from the link provided in the description. If you like this content, please like and subscribe. Question is given the code below. What can be done so that record count can be accessed by a test class but not by a non-test class? Option A. Change record count from private to public. Option B. Add the see all data annotation to the test class. Option C. Add the test visible annotation to record count. Option D. Add the test visible annotation to the myController class. Correct answer is option C. Question is which governor limit applies to all the code in an Apex transaction? Option A. Elapsed SOQL query time. Option B. Number of classes called. Option C. Number of new records created. Option D. Elapsed CPU time. Correct answer is option D. Question is the sales team at Universal Containers would like to see a visual indicator appear on both account and opportunity page layouts to alert salespeople when an account is late making payments or has entered the collection process. What can a developer implement to achieve this requirement without having to write custom code? Option A. Formula field. Option B. Workflow rule. Option C. Quick action. Option D. Roll-up summary field. Correct answer is option A. You can download the complete list of recently updated contents from the link provided in the description. If you like this content, please like and subscribe. Hello everyone. Question is which situation prevents a developer from setting sharing rules for a custom object? Option A. The object's sharing settings is set to public read and write. Option B. The object is on the detail side of a master detail relationship. Option C. The developer is not a system administrator. Option D. The object is referenced in an owner field of a master detail relationship. Correct answer is option D. Question is a developer wants multiple test classes to use the same set of test data. How should the developer create the test data? Option A. Reference a test utility classes in each test class. Option B. Define variables for test records in each test class. Option C. Create a test setup method for each test class. Option D. Use the see all data is equals to true annotation in each test class. Correct answer is option D. Question is, in order to override a standard action with a Visualforce page, which attribute must be defined in the Apex page tag? Option A. Page reference. Option B. Override. Option C. Controller. Option D. Standard controller. Correct answer is option D. Question is, how many labels of child records can be returned in a single SOQL query from one parent object? Option A 1, option B 3, option C 5, option D 7. Correct answer is option A. Question is, how can a developer warn users of SOQL governor limit violations in a trigger? Option A. Use messaging.sendEmail function to continue the transaction and send an alert to the user after the number of SOQL queries exceeds the limit. Option B. Use pageReference.setDirect function to redirect the user to a custom Visualforce page before the number of SOQL queries exceeds the limit. Option C. Use limits.getQueries function and display an error message before the number of SOQL queries exceeds the limit. Option D. Use apexMessage.message function to display an error message after the number of SOQL queries exceeds the limit. Correct answer is option C. You can download the complete list of recently updated contents from the link provided in the description. If you like this content, please like and subscribe. Question is, a developer creates a custom controller and custom Visualforce page by using the code block below. What can the user expect to see when accessing the custom page? Option A, A, B, B. Option B, A, B, get my string. Option C, A, A, A. Option D, B, A, get my string. Correct answer is option C. Question is, a company has a custom object named region. Each account in Salesforce can only be related to one region at a time, but this relationship is optional. Which type of relationship should a developer use to relate an account to a region? Option A. Parent-child. Option B. Hierarchical. Option C. Lookup. Option D. Master detail. Correct answer is option C. Question is, after an trigger on the account object platforms a DML update operation on all of the child opportunities of an account. There are no active triggers on the opportunity object, yet a maximum trigger depth exceeded. Error occurs in certain situations. Which two reasons possibly explain the account trigger firing recursively? Option A. Changes to opportunities are causing cross-object workflow field updates to be made on the account. Option B. Changes to opportunities are causing roll-up summary fields to update on the account. Option C. Changes are being made to the account during an unrelated parallel save operation. Option D. Changes are being made to the account during criteria-based sharing evaluation. Correct answer is option A and option B. You can download the complete list of recently updated contents from the link provided in the description. If you like this content, please like and subscribe. Hello everyone. Question is, a developer needs to update an unrelated object when a record gets saved. Which two trigger types should the developer create? Option A, after insert. Option B, before update. Option C before insert. Option D after update. Correct answer is option B and option C. Question is which two conditions cause workflow rules to fire? Option A an apex batch process that changes field values. Option B updating records using the bulk API. Option C converting leads to person accounts. Option D changing the territory assignments of accounts and opportunities. Correct answer is option A and option B. Question is a developer has an integer variable called max attempts. The developer needs to ensure that once max attempts is initialized, it preserves its value for the length of the Apex transaction, while being able to share the variable's state between trigger executions. How should the developer declare max attempts to meet these requirements? Option A declare max attempts as a private static variable on a helper class. Option B declare max attempts as a variable on a helper class. Option C declare max attempts as a member variable on the trigger definition. Option D declare max attempts as a constant user using the static and final keywords. Correct answer is option D. Question is which Salesforce feature allows a developer to see when a user last logged into Salesforce if real-time notification is not required? Option A event monitoring log. Option B calendar events. Option C developer log. Option D asynchronous data capture events. Correct answer is option A. Question is which three processes automations can immediately send an email notification to the owner of an opportunity when its amount is changed to be greater than $10,000? Choose three options. Option A process builder. Option B escalation rule. Option C flow builder. Option D approval process. Option E workflow rule. Correct answer is option A, D and option E. You can download the complete list of recently updated contents from the link provided in the description. If you like this content, please like and subscribe. Question is a developer has a Visualforce page and custom controller to save account records. The developer wants to display any validation rule violations to the user. How can the developer make sure that validation rule violations are displayed? Option A add custom controller attributes to display the message. Option B use a try or catch with a custom exception class. Option C include within bracket Apex message on the Visualforce page. Option D perform the DML using the database.upsert function method. Correct answer is option C. Question is what are two ways for a developer to execute tests in an org? Option A tooling API. Option B developer console. Option C metadata API. Option D bulk API. Correct answer is option A and option C. Question is when using Salesforce DX, what does a developer need to enable to create and manage Scratch orgs? Option A production. Option B environment hub. Option C dev hub. Option D sandbox. Correct answer is option C. Question is which two are best practices when it comes to component and application event handling? Option A reuse the event logic in a component bundle by putting the logic in the helper. Option B use component events to communicate actions that should be handled at the application level. Option C handle low-level events in the event handler and refire them as higher-level events. Option D try to use application events as opposed to component events. Correct answer is option A and option C. You can download the complete list of recently updated contents from the link provided in the description. If you like this content, please like and subscribe. Hello everyone. Question is, which three steps allow a custom SVG to be included in a Lightning Wave component? Option A, upload the SVG as a static resource. Option B, reference the getter in the HTML template. Option C, import the SVG as a content asset file. Option D, import the static resource and provide a getter for it in JavaScript. Option E, reference the import in the HTML template. Correct answer is option A, B and option D. Question is, which two strategies should a developer use to avoid hitting governor limits when developing in a multi-tenant environment? Option A, use collections to store all fields from a related object and not just minimally required fields. Option B, use methods from the limits class to monitor governor limits. Option C, use SOQL for loops to iterate data retrieved from queries that return a high number of rows. Option D, use variables within Apex classes to store large amount of data. Correct answer is option B and option C. Question is, a developer executes the following query in Apex to retrieve a list of contacts for each account. List within bracket account accounts is equals to within bracket select ID name from contacts from account. Which two exceptions may occur when it executes? Option A, CPU limit exception due to the complexity of the query. Option B, SOQL query row limit exception due to the number of contacts. Option C, SOQL query limit exception due to the number of contacts. Option D, SOQL query row limit exception due to the number of accounts. Correct answer is option C and option D. You can download the complete list of recently updated contents from the link provided in the description. If you like this content, please like and subscribe. Question is, a developer needs to display all of the available fields for an object. In which two ways can the developer retrieve the available fields if the variable myObject represents the name of the object? Choose two options. Please see the options as option A, B, C and option D. Correct answer is option B and option C. Question is, a developer is implementing an Apex class for a financial system. Within the class, the variable credit amount and debit amount should not be able to change once a value is assigned. In which two ways can the developer declare the variables to ensure their value can only be assigned one time? Choose two options. Option A, use the static keyword and assign its value in a static initializer. Option B, use the final keyword and assign its value when declaring the variable. Option C, use the final keyword and assign its value in the class constructor. Option D, use the static keyword and assign its value in the class constructor. Correct answer is option B and option C. Question is, Universal Containers wants to assess the advantages of declarative development versus programmatic customization for specific use cases in its Salesforce implementation. What are two advantages of declarative development over programmatic customizations? Option A, declarative development has higher design limits and query limits. Option B. Declarative development does not require Apex test classes. Option C. Declarative development does not require maintenance. Option D. Declarative development can be updated in production using the setup UI. Correct answer is option B and option D. Question is, a developer wants to invoke an outbound message when a record meets a specific criteria. Which three features satisfy this use case? Option A. Process Builder can be used to check the record criteria and send an outbound message with Apex code. Option B. Process Builder can be used to check the record criteria and send an outbound message without Apex code. This. Option C. Approval process has the capability to check the record criteria and send an outbound message without Apex code. Option D. Workflows can be used to check the record criteria and send an outbound message. Option E. Visual workflow can be used to check the record criteria and send an outbound message without Apex code. Correct answer is option C, D, and option E. You can download the complete list of recently updated contents from the link provided in the description. If you like this content, please like and subscribe.